Welcome to Open Color, the only show that can truly say snakes. Snakes? I don't know no snakes.
I don't know snakks.
I'm Corbell Steve McCoy. This is the show coming at you live, youtube.com at Open Color Pod.
Busy day for you.
Fucking busy a few days. Have you ever seen
We're coming down, man. We're getting close to the finish line.
I discovered these on Amazon, these little plastic dealies that if you stick in the outlet of your outlet, the sockets of your outlet, I guess it is, it prevents if they're loose, prevents the things from falling out.
What do you mean? It prevents
whatever I have two sockets here on the outlet next to my desk that I don't use because if I plug anything in, they just fall out.
Oh, okay.
So you put these little plastic dealies in there. I'm calling them dealies because I can't remember what they're actually the technical term.
No, you know what? Go with it. That sounds
good. But they work so fucking well that you can't get the plug that you plug in there out unless you take that with it. At which point they're transparent plastics. You will lose them. I've already lost 2.
How many did you get in the?
Like 20.
So you've got 10 shots before you have to restock.
I don't know if you're observant enough or our local viewers is, but there is something different. Do you know what it is?
You don't have a pop filter? No,
that's still there. I will. I'll.
Oh, the background.
No, that's all the same.
Oh shit!
Here's a hint. What is different that you can see?
You got a hat.
No, I changed the.
Hold on. You got new headphones.
No, they're the same. I just changed the padding.
Oh, would you look at that?
Yeah, it looks more Team Canada-ish rather than the full-on Raptors. Reason being, I've been using these more when I was doing my animation and editing. I noticed the inside, since it's white, was very discolored.
Okay.
So, and like literally nothing wrong. I can hear fine out of them. Just optically, I thought it was disgusting. These had to be replaced.
So you just on Amazon?
Yep. Just pop because
they look brand new.
It's just like 3M 2-way tape. Pop it off with a butter knife. Put the new ones on. I stuck them here on the desk, stretched them out to put the pressure on, make them stay. Left them for about 2 days.
You know, you got suckered in. You know how sometimes you scroll through your feed and then you'll see these like 10 amazing small gifts for Amazon that you can give to your loved one, and it's like, things to pull out the oven rack, or this automatic stir for the pot, so you don't have to do it, that stuff like that. I feel like you got sucked into something like that because you have all these little trinkets now.
So like this and this.
Right.
Yeah. And then I also, just because of the red, I went like, you know what, I'll get a new aux cable for them. Just go with so now they have the red and the white play off each other.
So would you wear those at work? Like, would you have to wear them at work?
I should, because I like them a lot more than my AirPods. But I feel because they're so these are over ear ones, so they cup them pretty good. I think I would just miss people talking to me more. Like I miss a lot with the AirPods because I put the noise canceling feature on.
It wouldn't be a bad thing though.
I mean, no,
it wouldn't be a bad thing.
It wouldn't.
Right?
Like I remember
you didn't hear me. Oh shucks. Sorry.
During the last couple of weeks when I was doing a bunch of editing, because I did the whole thing on my iPad. So I'm sitting upstairs with these on, plugged in, and literally I can see Ashley across from me chatting, and I can't hear a thing coming.
That's awesome.
Because it's one thing when everything's muted, but when you're listening to any sort of audio on here, it's legit cancels out everything across the room.
That's wicked.
So I recommend if you
Yeah,
don't want to listen to people.
We were well Chris. I just lose camera.
All kinds of friends cutting out. We lost you.
Oh,
You look like you're deep in thought, but there's no audio
vacation and a
happening.
Christmas story, and we're not able to watch it on Christmas Eve, which we normally do. I missed everything. Because what would it be without technical difficulties? I got a new computer and everything too.
It's Wi-Fi.
Oh, bitch.
Oh, you have a mug today too.
I do. Look at this. I don't know how much did I just go dark there for a few seconds?
You did. So you were talking about Christmas vacation.
Yeah.
Well, then I lost you.
Yes, and we crammed them all in today. Take two, check. No, we had to cram them all in today, so we weren't able to watch. Weren't able to watch the movies on Christmas Eve because they're going to my mom's on Christmas Eve. So we decided that we would watch it tonight. So we plowed through Christmas Vacation and A Christmas Story. So now we are complete from the kids' perspective. Only thing that we got to watch is Love Actually with Jade and I. If we don't get to see it, it's not the end of the world, though.
I've heard on terrestrial radio, for those who don't listen to it anymore, there was a thing. You get in the car.
Terrestrial radio, I love it.
And before you hook your phone up and go into your podcatcher or listen to your playlist on Spotify, you would listen to stuff for free. Radio. I know the morning zoo that they have on most networks, right? Radio stations, people talking on the morning shows. A growing sentiment is that people are over Love Actually now. People are realizing that it's like a negative movie and have moved past it.
What's negative about it?
I've never seen it, so I can't say. But the growing sentiment is that they're all bad people doing bad things, like and fairs and stuff like that in it.
Right. Yeah. So there are definitely
there's nothing like holiday like feels in it. Like it's not a happy movie.
I think it's a smart movie in the sense that it depicts what love is to different people in various different situations. And it just happens to be taking place at Christmas. So, if you talk about the movies that we talked about with Prometheus and Die Hard, like they're Christmas movies because of the time in which they take place. But this is it's a narrative on all of the different types of love that one can experience: authentic, unauthentic, accidental, all of the different ones. I'm not going to rhyme through. Mike, I would recommend you see it just once. It may be something that will only be one time for you, but give it a shot. Why not?
There's a lot of those one-time.
You know what? Watches. Now that you're saying it, I'm thinking back. I'm like looking at all the different people.
Yeah.
There's two separate examples of infidelity. There's someone that has a crush on his best friend's wife. Fuck, maybe you're onto something.
I do have a tendency of ruining things for you.
You're maybe onto something.
Like you walk out of a movie like, oh, I like this movie. And then I point out all this stuff like, fuck, you know what? It's actually not good.
It. That's right. Call the manager. I want my money back.
I'm also out of a low on orange juice. So tonight is cranberry juice.
Okay. I've got a little decaf coffee.
It's as if I'm like what they say in The Departed when he kept ordering cranberry juice. What are you on your period?
Oh yeah. No, yeah, something about it's like you've got something wrong with your pisser. Yeah, my mug is starting to get beaten up because my Daredevil looks like a zombie.
Oh, it's maybe now we can go from a Marvel mug to a Marvel Zombies mug.
Arthur Sudyum, or whatever
My
his
worst thing
name
is,
was.
the thing I hate the most is when they start to get all dyed inside from like
Yeah.
coffees and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't look new. Looks just, yeah, beat up.
The
degraded.
worst is because it's a bigger mug. It's not your typical coffee size, and there'll be times where Jade will take it and for her tea, and that'll piss me off because then I'm left with this little, what feels like a sample size mug for coffee, which is pointless.
The worst.
Anyway,
as we were talking about movies, I don't know if they got to this one yet. I didn't go to a movie. I went to my screen and watched it at home. I have no idea how long this was. I assumed it would have been done by then. So keeping in the Christmas fair, I watched the box office bomb that is apparently crushing on an Amazon Prime, Red One. Now,
yeah, I saw it too.
Oh, good, perfect. So we went to the movies.
Yes, we did.
Now, as someone in the 90s watching a lot of wrestling, I was a big fan of The Rock, Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Okay. After all the stories that have come out the past couple of years about him, could take him or leave him now. But still gave this a shot because, hey, it's Christmas. Let's watch something new. And boy, was this fucking terrible.
It was awful, man. I don't know what it was. I felt like I was expecting something more. I was speaking to someone at work about this too, and so it's billed as like an action movie, right? Especially with The Rock and Chris Evans. Thank you. I had Pine in my head. I was expecting, and then she was in Charlie's Angels,
Lucy Liu,
yeah. Anyway, all that to say, I was expecting something a bit more in terms of action, and at least something to grab me in, and it was lacking. It was lacking. I mean, J.K. Simmons, I liked him as Santa. That was a positive. But there was no like Chris Evans with the son. Like I don't even really remember what the premise of the story is because I was kind of disengaged halfway through. But I just remember that he's like a deadbeat dad, and there was nothing that, like, I didn't see that flip. There was no redemption in him being a dad, in my mind.
No, like the third act has like the redemption moment, but it's not earned. Like it's literally just
that's where it wasn't earned.
Yeah, it's like it's like a throwaway line that's like, oh, this is redeeming, and then plot solved, problem solved, wrap it up.
Krampus? No, what was the Santa's brother?
Krampus.
That was pretty cool. That was a good
little twist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But that was it. Like it wasn't,
Yeah, like the crux of it is like Dwayne's character has been doing this forever, so he's bored, he's gonna move on. But then Santa Claus gets kidnapped and he's like the head of the security, so he's got to get him back. And I guess Chris Evans' character is like a hacker or something like that, or a thief. Mm-hmm. So uses him to help get Santa Claus back. Again, the B plot is, oh, he's a dad. But the part that really took me out of it is when this, like, it all happens and Lucy Liu shows up for the first time. Did she like forget how to act for that? Like her line delivery when she's giving that speech and the obvious green screen background that she had was just so wooden and just, it was so bad. It's like, is this? It's like
clunky. It was clunky.
Yeah, you make fun of daytime soap actors for being stiff actors, but this was just like below that level too.
Yeah,
for someone who has been doing this for a long time.
And you know what? Like the North Pole is a place of magic, of mystery, of innocence, almost like you could say. But they went a bit overboard in trying to make it like the CIA, and the FBI, and some high tech lockdown mega city, and it just didn't work for me. So will I watch it again? No. absolutely not. I will not watch it again.
Yeah, no,
You? Are you?
no,
Is
no,
it something
no,
you
not
might add to
not
your?
not at all.
No.
There's
Okay.
really not much to say. That like it big miss on nearly every level, and
And
I don't
did
get
you say
how.
that it went? Did it did really well on Amazon?
Yeah, apparently it's one of their biggest streaming properties to date. I don't know
Well, it was
how.
made by them. That's good.
Yeah, could they be like again? The problem with streaming numbers is that we never actually get them. So who's to say it's accurate? We'll never know. But I will say this though: I don't think Chris Evans. I know he was ready to hang up the shield, but he's had miss after miss after miss after miss since leaving Marvel, and it's too bad.
Yeah. Why would they release it in theaters if like I don't get the
Well, it cost $250 million to make, so I assume
$50 million.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
I assume it was trying to recoup some of that money.
Jesus. Well, you know what? You got some big names in there. I mean, Chris Evans, The Rock, J.K. Simmons. Were there any other cameos? No, I think that was it. Those are the main three big ones. Who was Mrs. Claus?
Bonnie Hunt.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, don't waste 2 hours of your time.
No, I wouldn't.
I sound salty, but I mean, it didn't do it for me.
No, and like you'd think it would have given the star power.
Yeah.
And again, it's a different look at the story, like of having Santa security.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you would have went straight up comedy rather than action movie, you probably would have played better.
I think so. And all of them can do that. Like The Rock has been in comedies.
Mm-hmm.
Jumanji did really well. Chris Evans, he's got some acting chops and could do a comedy, I'm sure. Yeah, they missed the boat on that.
Big boat, like I said,
Big boat, it's gone.
$250 million. Oh shit! I know we've delved into the show, but I never told you my fucking water heater story.
Yes, okay, go. I was gonna ask, and I was like, oh, maybe he just didn't. Maybe that's an off-air conversation.
No. I'm not gonna. Like, I'm gonna shit on a company for a little bit, but then 'tis the season. I'll bring it back up.
Hold on, let me grab my coffee and sit back.
What day is today? Today's Sunday, so Friday. I get up. I go downstairs. Like, we have an air furnace room, a deep freezer, so we get stuff out of there. I noticed that the little indicator for your temperature and stuff on the bottom of the water heater is lit up. No, I didn't think anything of it. I think, must have hit it or something while I was down there. So, go do my thing, have a shower, everything's fine. Ash has a shower, everything's fine. Like in the afternoon, Parker has one. We went to do it the night before because he had his hockey. He comes out saying the coldest shower he's ever had in his life.
Oh no!
Like, what are you talking about? Like, Ash said it was fine for me. So I go and I'm like, oh, we have no hot water. I go downstairs and the light's still on. And I noticed I could hear like a clicking sound, like the thing's trying to click on, but the motor is not doing anything. So I turn it off. I turn it back on and it starts running. I'm like, okay, so something must have just turned it off. Run for a bit. I can feel like the hot water's starting to warm up.
Okay.
But then after like a half hour, I'm like, it's still fucking cold. Go downstairs. Lights are on again. So I call Endercare, who's looking after our rental, and I'm on hold for about 40 minutes. And as I'm on hold, I can see you can book a service appointment online. So I do that while still holding because I want to talk to somebody to hopefully get in sooner. So they're going to come on Saturday between 4 and 8 p.m. Like we had plans on Saturday. So like if they came after that, that's fine. But we'd like to get this resolved sooner. So I talk to the guy. He says, okay, we'll have someone come tonight between 8 and midnight. I'm like, fuck, I'll stay up. 8:30 dude rolls in, comes down, looks at it. He says, it's probably flame sensor. So this is that easy fix. Okay. Yeah, it'll take me five minutes. Pops the thing open, does that, and he says, while he's looking at it, he says, this is an older tank, it's about 14 years old. You're probably looking at getting another one to get it replaced. Oh, okay. He's like, well, like you'll fix this, and then well, we have like a year or two. He's like, no, I'd probably do it within the next month or two. Because he says like this will like these tanks, this happens every once in a while, it gets dirty, but if this happens now, it could happen again, or something else could go on it. So I'm like, all right, well, I got time off coming in February. I'll do it then. And so he does that. He says, okay, you're all set, and leaves. I go upstairs. Check the water. Water's hot. I'm like, okay, perfect. Come down, turn all the lights and everything off, put things away. The fucking lights are on again on the display. And nothing's running. So I look outside. He's already gone. Get on hold. I'm on hold again. This is probably for another hour and a half. I'm on hold.
Holy shit.
Talking to somebody. Get on. I just, you had a guy here. It's now almost 11. I assume no one's going to be coming out at this point.
Yeah.
To get somebody to come back out. This guy's probably already at home having dinner. And he's like, he said, I need to get it replaced. So like, just send someone to replace it tomorrow. What time can I get? He says, okay, I'll put you on hold. So I'm on hold for another 40 minutes. I'm like, you know, fuck me, just book another online appointment. Book it for, I still had my 4 to 8. Okay. Guy gets on. So I can have someone there at 8 a.m. Like, perfect. Great. Do it. And it's like, this is going to be replaced. Yeah. So let me go through the new rental agreement with you. I'm like, it's fine. I trust you, whatever. Just let's get this booked. I get somebody coming. So I go tell Ashley upstairs, wake her up, obviously, because she's sleeping now. It's almost midnight. I said, guy's coming tomorrow. She's like, well, Parker's hockey, and I'm supposed to see my mom at 11. So like, and now I've taken something that should have been fixed and moved it to a time that's absolutely the worst, right? I'm the good means have to be in Smiths Falls for 8, and I got to be at my mom's for 11, and these guys are coming between 8 and 12.
Jesus Christ. What'd you do?
So I get on the horn again to see if I can push it back like a little bit.
By this point, you're on a first name basis with them.
Yeah. So I'm talking to this guy, and again, on hold again for another 40. So we're pushing midnight. And guy says, well, the water heater department's closed. So all I can do for you now is either cancel it completely or say, when they call tomorrow, say they're on their way, tell them you don't want them to come. Like, well, I'm not doing that. If like, I need this replaced, yada, yada. Right. So leave it like that. Next morning, she says, just okay. And she hates when people come into our house, and she hates being here when that's happening. But she knew I felt like crap for basically ruining the day for everybody. So she said, go to his hockey, because if they come after 8, you're going to be back, because they said it'll take about an hour and a half to do. You'll be back before they're done. Mm-hmm. So like she'll just like, you know, come in, there it is. At least you're here if there's any questions, anything else comes up. And if they come later, well, then you just go to your mom. I'll stay here. But again, you're here for most of it. So they call. It's just before 9. Say they're on their way. So she tells me on the way. I'm packing up, leaving his hockey. So I'm like, okay, 40 minutes. I'll get there. I'll miss half the time, but I'll be there for most of the time.
Sure.
So we're driving, and then I get a call. Call me, hurry. Like, what the fuck's wrong? So I get on the horn. She says, so they left. They said there was no room for them to get to the tank. We had to basically, according to them, basically remove almost everything from our basement in order for them to have enough room to access the water main and to get to the furnace room, despite having some guy here the night before who had no problem.
Yeah, right.
And who like, no point says, when you replace this, you should move this bookcase and move that.
Yeah.
So then hope there's no fans that are police officers. So I'm doing like 140 going down the highway to get home, because I'm like 45 minutes away. She's got 90 minutes to clean out the basement by herself.
Yeah.
So I get home about 20 minutes. So we haul ass cleaning out. 2.5 hours later, they're not back. But another van pulls up with one guy, and he gets out. I'm like, so you're here to replace her water heater? He goes, no. So this is the service call that didn't get canceled when they booked the replacement. So I told this guy what's going on, and he's like, well, let me radio back to, I guess, I don't know, head office or dispatch or whatever.
Yeah.
So I told him, I said, like, you just had 2 guys here. I don't know when they're coming back. They're supposed to be here about a half hour ago. They left because he said there was no room. He said, well, let me look, and then I can let these guys know. I checked it out, plenty of room. Come back in. So he walks in. Within 2 seconds, he goes, "You have enough room." And we moved some stuff out, but not everything. Basically, we have a shelving unit at the bottom of our stairs that has like all the kids' board games and stuff that they have access to. Like, take that out and take some stuff off into where the water main is, and it's fine. I moved a bookcase, but the guy said he didn't even need to. There was enough room for them to get in.
Right.
So he calls them. She calls the dispatch, says it's fine. She calls those guys. They're at another job. They may be another hour to 2 hours. So Ashley says, just go to your mom's. So I take the kids. We leave. By the time I get there, they now show up.
What is happening?
So this is like, this is about 12:30. Long and short of it, by 2 o'clock, they're done. New water heater. Everything's perfectly fine.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
I just don't understand. You know what it is? Were they like a third party to Enercare?
No, they're like it's Enercares that show up. Like, it's their trucks.
Okay.
So like, well, it started off with like, you think these guys are assholes, but then once we did the work, I guess they saw the amount of stuff that we moved out of the way, and the big, nice, glowing air. Like, our basement's never looked this nice, and our basement is essentially our like storage room because most basements like are open, right? But we had like a room put in before we got here, and then there's like a bar area too. So a lot of this, it's broken up. So when we usually have your things that store your units with, your storage bins, your Christmas decorations and stuff like that, it's out of the way. But here, because of the extra walls, everything's in the way no matter where you move.
Yeah.
So I get it, but at the same time, like, I'm sure these guys have shown up at worse like places.
Oh, I guarantee it.
So it has to be just like, let's truthfully, and I'm gonna play the sexist card. I think they showed up, saw a young woman not knowing what's going on, and took advantage of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they were just like, yeah, no, we can't do anything. And maybe they get paid because, like, I don't know how it works, but maybe they get paid for showing up a portion of it. Yeah, that's not fun. It's not fun. And it takes up the whole Saturday pretty much.
Oh, right? Yeah. So our Saturday, which should have been, a hour at his hockey, come home, spend a couple hours at my mom's for a Christmas visit.
It should have been, it should have been a nice, easy Saturday.
Yeah, no, it wasn't. It was not. I got probably like 15,000 steps in by moving shit up and down the stairs.
And have you ever had issues with the hot water tank before?
No, we've had, and so our first year in the house, Christmas Day, we came home to the furnace that was broken. The motor went on it.
Okay.
And I called any person who would show up. I had a guy show me at heat back, I think 10 o'clock that night. And this is when summer was like only a couple months old. That's been replaced. AC's been replaced. The city just made us replace our the water gauge. So we've had everything replaced in the basement. So knock on wood, no one ever comes down here again.
Well, they shouldn't.
They shouldn't.
And that was utility talk. Open. Shit. No, I'm just praying I don't have to go through anything like that for a little while.
And I'm just thinking, if I was not renting, how much easier it would have been to get someone in or to get it replaced. But I'm thinking it probably would have been harder.
Yeah.
And far more expensive, because I got all the people showing up. I got the bills, and it says $0 on it because it's all rental.
Yeah.
But I got a buddy who's in the HVAC business, so I messaged him. And the first thing, you rent? I said, yep. Says, I can't touch it, but get them in there and don't pay anything. Don't take no. Like, he told me what to say, what to ask for, and what to demand and what to do.
Oh shit!
So the whole time I messaged, like, they're saying this, he's like, "Yep, that's fine." He's like, I said, they say it's 14 years should be replaced. He says, "Yeah, you usually get 10 years out of those." So yeah, all on the up and up.
Look at you with the contacts too, eh? Yeah. Hey, Cory, just moonlighting in HVAC.
He's a friend of my folks. So like, when I needed something, he fucking came over. I said, I need a new AC. Okay, I'll be there Thursday.
Yeah, but
here's the unit. Boom.
From what I know, that they get really finicky with bit farting around with it because I guess if it's like they need to write on the paper and
Mhm.
they can lose their license and whatnot, so which makes sense, right?
Yeah.
It's their livelihood. They can still coach you like they did. That's awesome.
Yep. So that was our Saturday, and today was Ashley's folks made the 2-hour trek out west of the city, and then
Lots
it's fun
of
when
connect-
it's fun when there's 10 grandkids.
Oh, that was how many were there. Jeez.
Yeah, and the two oldest are 11 and 9. The rest are 7 below.
Whoa. Okay.
So, sorry, 11 because
loud.
there's a new baby. She's 3 weeks.
So very loud.
Oh yeah, and it was it's too cold to go outside. Can we go outside? It's too cold. Can we go outside? You know what? It might be better if they go outside.
Yeah.
So they spent basically most of the day outside.
The boys were getting a bit of cabin fever, I'd say, yesterday and today. So I said, no, you're going on the rink. And yesterday was colder than today. But yeah, they went on even if it was for like 20 minutes. Just get the tickle out of their toes and exert that energy.
And the holiday hasn't even started yet.
That's what Jade said tonight. Yeah, it starts tomorrow, right?
So, officially, right? Because this is just the weekend.
All right, what's up next?
Well,
are we doing commercial or
30 minutes in? We're not even halfway through the show, buddy. But here, I'll throw a commercial because this will go into a conversation.
Yes. Now you can be as clever as Kevin with Tiger's new Talk Boy tape recorder.
Stop drooling on me. Stop drooling on me.
It even has speed control.
Hi, kids. We're home early.
Hi, kids. We're home early.
Tiger's new Talk Boy tape recorder comes with audio cassette. Come on, hiya, pal.
Look for Home Alone 2, available now on video.
On video.
First of all, what was that daughter doing on the couch, like trying to get it on in the open?
It is textbook 90s sitcom babysitting tropes where you have the boyfriend over and are always making out with the snotty brother that is like always interfering.
I hadn't seen that commercial since it came out, but as soon as it started to play, I was like, I remember it as if it was like yesterday.
Oh yeah. I also love how that like boyfriend showed up in a tie.
As you would, right? First impression.
Yeah.
What are your intentions with my daughter?
Also, like if that's how the dad actually talks, spot on impression.
Yeah. Hi kids, we're home.
I wanted a talk boy. I never got a talk boy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when I told that to Ashley, she said, well, I had the talk girl version. I'm like, oh, it must be nice.
Girl version? See,
it's the same thing but pink.
Yeah, that talk boy is to me almost like the USS or the US major flag. I think it was the helicarrier for G.I. Joe, where you saw commercials for it, you saw pictures of it, but you never knew anyone that had it. So you started to have these seeds of doubt in your mind to say, like, is this a real toy or am I screwing? Am I Mandela affecting myself with this? I
feel like that was, I could be wrong. I'll have to go back when I rewatch the show, but I feel like that was a conversation they had on Comic Book when someone brought that in.
Yeah.
It's like the Holy Grail. Like no one ever had it, but you knew of it.
Yeah, but you just had never seen it.
Yeah.
See, that's not wait, sorry, I'll let you. Did you want to go into what the topic of conversation is or just kind of go right into it?
Go into it. I guess people can figure it out. It's essentially the gifts we wanted, we never got. The letdown that our parents did.
I was never really big into G.I. Joe.
Same.
But it was a really cool toy, even though I'd never seen it or knew anyone that had it or seen it themselves. I wouldn't
watch it really, but I had a bunch of them, and I don't know why. I think people just thought that's what boys like. They like G.I. Joes. I had tons.
Yeah, I never had any G.I. Joes. The
only thing I really remember of them is the rubber bands holding.
That's So my cousins who were twins, that was all they had were G.I. Joe. So I remember going over to their place and they had like bins full of like the figures. And I just remember being like, whoa, if I pull too hard, you could make Beachhead's fucking legs pop right off. For me, the one that comes top of mind for a toy that I've always wanted was Mask's Boulder Hill.
Yeah.
The base. Again, I've never seen it in real life. I knew no one that had it, but I knew it existed, and I'd never. It was one thing that I never got, and I think it was a reasonably priced set for when it came out in the mid 80s. But again, it was something that was elusive to me at Christmas time. And I look at it online now and it's way too expensive to justify buying it. Like I can only see it on eBay and it's going for like $300, I think. I was like,
People
where
know
would
how
I
to,
put that in the office, right? Or in the
know how to
coffin?
capitalize on nostalgia, that's for sure.
Yeah. So no, that's definitely one. That's definitely one.
I always wanted the Technodrome from Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Like I had the pizza thrower car, I had the shell, what do they call it? Shell mobile or the turtle car, turtle van, I mean. All the turtles, I had the turtle lair, but I never had the Technodrome.
That was that
always
the gray one? That was
like the big fucking golf ball with the eyes on top.
I've got to ask my brother, but I feel like my brother had that because that's a toy that I actually knew I played with. Was that, and it opened up in it opened up by
like tank wheels. So
yeah. Okay, yeah, I
didn't have that one.
No, it was not that it was like it was one of the main accessories to Mutant TMNT, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's where the bad guys were.
Like for the first, was that the first kind of?
I feel, if I remember correctly, and I feel just based on seeing ads for the Turtles like sewer lair playset, that the Technodrome I think was first. Like you had the Turtles, all their vehicles, you had the bad guy set, but they didn't have the Turtle lair. That came in after.
Yeah. The other one for me was, I don't know if it was Castle Grayskull or if it was just its own accessory, but I remember there was a base and it had like a green ooze and it would pour out. And I think I'm almost certain it was Masters of the Universe. And you would have like the ooze come out and you could like go on your figurines. I always thought that was cool, but never got that.
I always worried that stuff would ruin the figurines.
Right? Yeah. 100%. But I guess
you can't play with it. You got to wash it all off.
Nah, it was, and then you get into the crevices. So no, that was definitely one. Another one for me is superpowers. So superpowers, and I may have talked about this in our one-on-one, but I can't remember. There was, after wave 1, there was a mail-in, not contest, but a mail-in reward that you could. So if you collected all the UPCs, you could mail into wherever, and then you would get the Clark Kent superpowers. And it was him in a suit and a tie with his glasses on. That was another one that I never got, but wanted to add it to my collection. And again, if I look at it now, the cost of procuring that figure is not worth it.
Not worth its weight in gold.
No, it really isn't, unfortunately.
Do you remember I think it was 96, Tim Burton's Mars Attacks movie?
I
based on the trading card.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember it all that well. I remember it. I remember the movie. I know I've seen it. It may have been close to when it came out that I've seen it, though.
When it came out, I've discovered there's no commercials or anything, but they must have been in some magazine or catalog. They had figures of the aliens from the movie, and I thought, oh, these look so cool.
Yeah.
I never saw them in the store, so of course these aren't in the store, but they exist. Dear Satan or Santa, whomever.
Right.
And I never got them. And I was so bummed out. I just fully expected, if I didn't get it from, grandma, didn't get it from dad, didn't get it from mom, fucking Santa Claus was going to do me good. And nope.
No. Santa will hook me up.
I've never actually, I should see if but they would be going for
I
another.
was gonna ask you if you've ever looked to see what they're going for. I'll give you another one, and I'm starting to sense of a theme with my childhood in that when it came to bases, never got them. I got the figures, but I never had the base for which they.
Camera here. There's these lovely guys. Well,
No, you're off camera.
I'm trying to get it so you don't get the glare from the ring.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
$91 is what it's going for, plus $34 to ship it.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
The last one was when Kevin Costner's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves came out.
Yeah,
they had toy lines
with
figures.
Yeah, we saw them last year when we were going through the wish book.
That's right. Yeah, and I don't know what it was. Well, no, I wanted the Sherwood Forest base because I thought it was so cool that it was built in trees and it had like wooden planks and it almost looked like the Ewoks base on Endor a little bit. And I thought this is a pretty unique, base to have. But again, I got snookered when it came to bases. Now you got me wondering what my Boulder Hill is going to go for, but I'll try and think of one that is not a base. But now that I'm thinking about it, every single one has been that. So,
well, because those are usually like the bigger ticket item, right? Everyone can just go to the store and get the GI Joes, get the Mask Guys, get the Turtles, but to get the house, which is funny because anytime when Parker ever plays with his action figures, he always asks for a house. Can you give me a house or something? That's like I have he's got his Lego figures and stuff, but I usually have like the bigger sets. Like I have the my stands over here. We have the Quickie Mart and we have the Simpsons house. But I also have a turtle lair that's not a big thing, but it's a house for him to put his guys in, right? But yeah, so like us, we have the figures, we need the base.
Boulder Hill, I've seen it go for $270 plus shipping, plus another $220 for shipping. The most I've seen it is a sealed and unused contents going for $2,900 plus only $120 shipping. Fuck, that's expensive.
I mean, why is it $100 or $200 to ship something?
Well, maybe just because
it's insured,
possibly, and maybe it's also that it's a larger box. If I try and think of like an actual figure, so as you know, as our fans know, I was huge into Mask and still am. And the one figure that I always wanted from Mask was Switchblade, which was the Venom Leader's main vehicle. It was the helicopter or the jet. Never had it, and it was one that I always wanted. It got away. What can I say? The base. I can't find the Robin Hood Prince of Thieves base, so just to see how much it's going for.
Clearly, it was a big seller then.
No
one's reselling it.
It's holding on. Let's see. No, all it's pulling up is trading cards. Oh, here we go. No, I found it. Wow. Let's see for the viewers.
There it is. Like that should be no more than $20.
Yeah.
I feel like you can 3D print that.
You know what? Speaking of 3D printers, you could do a lot of shit with that. Like you could probably build your own base. You know what?
Miss Ava, she got a gift from her. They did bingo. She won a prize, and her teacher 3D printed. It's a orange tabby cat with a Santa hat.
That's cool.
Little figurine. Yeah,
that's cool. It's going for $150 US plus $100 shipping US. So converted to Canadian, you're looking at about $370.
You could probably buy that exact set and built with Lego pieces. Like $30.
Yeah.
speaking of 3D printers, so talking to my mom leading up to Christmas, she just we're talking about something else, and just out of blue, she goes, "You know much about 3D printers?" I said, "Yeah, a bit." She, "You think it's something you'd use?" I'm like, "Yeah, like maybe." Like Ashley's looked into them before. She's like, "Oh, how expensive do you think they're?" Or says, "Well, when she was looking at them, this was years ago when they first started to come, like be like for home use. She's like $600-$700." She goes, "Oh, okay." Says, "Actually, they don't look like they're that expensive now. Maybe like $200-$300, depending. Do you think you'd use it?" I said, yeah, maybe." "Oh, okay."
You know
I
you
did not.
would use it.
I did
Come on.
not. and I did not get a 3D printer for her.
Just throwing you way
Yeah.
off.
I'm just like, I think she might be ordering this or something.
Maybe
I
it was
got like a
because
pair of pants and a shirt.
maybe you were just too nonchalant with it. Like, yeah, maybe.
Well,
If I remember,
my
if I
sister
remember
did that
use
to me
it.
once. She said, "I have a friend who's looking at getting an iPad Mini. Is like, are they good?" And it's like, "Oh, like depends on what you're gonna use it for." Like, well, like if you were gonna get one, what would you use it for? I said, "Well, like they'd be good for like gaming, web surfing, and bed reading." "Oh, okay. Well, they overly expensive?" I said, "No. Again, depends capacity, yada yada."
Right.
So that Christmas, at my dad's, and boom, there's an iPad Mini. So I guess the history led me to believe that that was something that would have occurred again.
Right.
Not the case. Just I
Would
guess.
you? So would you want a 3D printer?
Oh fuck yeah!
Man, right?
I'd use it.
100%.
What figure don't I have that I can make today?
You know what I would do? I would get. I saw really cool. There's a guy that I follow on Instagram, and he makes a lot of Marvel Legends bases and like back alleys and rooftops and whatnot. But he uses like the pink foam and uses the knives to cut out the brick and paints it. It looks legit. But then he tried messing around with the 3D printer and he made the seat that Kang sits on in the comic books.
Okay.
And there's actually Marvel or Hasbro, pardon me, re-released the Kang figure with the chair. The one I have didn't come with the chair. The one that's new coming out has the chair, and this guy did a 3D printer, and it looks the exact same. So would I use a 3D printer? 100%. Now I do hear though that I guess it gets really hot, and so depending on the quality of the printer that you buy, you might want to be careful on how big of a project that you're working on because it could overheat and potentially fuck it up. But I don't know. I used to work with the guy that had one, and he swore by it, and he would make stands for his Star Wars figures, and he was huge into Star Wars and huge into Back to the Future, and so he'd make things that were related to those two properties with this 3D printer. Man, that's what I want for Christmas.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. Only 3 days left. No.
Yeah, I know Lego released. I guess you can get the instructions to download to like if you are missing pieces or something, you can 3D print your own pieces.
See, that's smart.
Genius.
Yeah.
I feel like they would charge for that. Like you need this to brick, you'll be like $2 for the blueprint.
Yeah, but then you have it then you have it in perpetuity, right?
Yeah.
So that would be good.
$2 is $2.
I actually went to I'm gonna save this story after.
All right. One thing I'll say is for a video game that I played a ton as a kid that I actually never owned but always wanted was Turtles in Time on Super Nintendo.
Was that the second game?
It was the fourth one.
Oh wow, okay.
It's where they, as the title would lead you to believe, they go in time. Back in time.
Were they samurais in the game?
I actually never got that far.
Am I getting that mixed up?
That's the movie.
The
third movie that they did. Yeah, so I played it at my old neighbor's place, played it, rented it, never actually got it despite asking for it.
Oh, so you did play it.
Oh,
you just never owned it.
Never got to own it. Technically, I own it now because I have the TMNT collection for the Nintendo Switch. Has all the games in there. Not the same. No, it's not. It's not a Super Nintendo. I'm not 7 anymore.
That's right. I finished Spider-Man 2 on my PS5, and now I'm starting up Star Wars Survivor. and I'm very excited. I was
Mine's
quite pleased.
still sitting there, not touched.
Oh, you have to play it.
I know.
It's so good. It's so good. And I feel like they've set Insomniac has set themselves up
For failure.
No, they set themselves up for an epic conclusion to the Spider-Man trilogy. Maybe you'll find out what I'm talking about in 2 years' time.
When I play it.
You know what? You're like video games as I am to TV shows.
I find it's easier for me to sit there with my Nintendo Switch because it's a handheld. I can just grab it from my drawer and go. I don't have to commit to sitting down here with a television. And I don't want to spend the $200 to $300 on a PlayStation Portal, the little handheld device.
The controller, you mean?
So didn't you remember this PS Portal? It's basically a controller with a screen on it that you can remote into your PS5 and play it like a handheld console.
Fuck off. Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Clearly,
so it's like
they're
a Switch.
advertising it well. Yeah, kind of. But the only difference is
smaller screen.
You don't actually. No, it's a bigger screen. Like you have to have your PlayStation on. It's not like you can just.
Oh, okay.
So if you need an internet connection, I should say, for it, because you can remote into your PS5 from outside the house. But yeah, it's
called PlayStation Portable.
PS Portal, Portal.
Okay. You know what I've been finding though when I play on the PS5 in front of the TV is that I'll be playing for a couple hours and my eyeballs will just be like just stinging because I haven't blinked in about 3 hours the whole time that I was playing.
Like the most fun thing I find I think I've said this before, when I play these games, is that I play them and then I stop and years go by, and when I get back to them, I think I have a lot left to do, and it turns out I'm like a mission or two from the end.
I missed that because I accidentally yanked my headphones out.
So I think I've said this before with video games, is I'll play them for a while and then go away for a couple of years and come back to it thinking I have so much left to do, and I'm like a mission or two away from like being
done.
Yeah, so it's like, well, let's turn this up. Here I got another couple hours to go. Kill a boss. Credits. Oh shit, I was at the end.
The PlayStation Portal looks amazing.
Yeah, it's nice looking.
Yeah, it looks nice.
You can do the same thing with what was it, a Backbone? Makes a controller like adapter you can hook to your phone. You can just use the app and save yourself like $160.
Technology, eh?
Yep, that's how they get you.
Shit. Yeah, so I'm gonna start Survivor. It's gonna be great. I had a hell of a time trying to set up the boys' accounts, like a family account or whatever. Add members to your family.
Okay.
I keep getting a server issue. I looked up.
So what does that do? Does it allow them to play the same games and
just
have
keep their own progress? Yeah.
Are these digital games? Or are they?
No, they're disc games. So takes up a lot of space.
Sons of bitches.
Sons of bitches.
That's right. That wasn't your story, was it?
No, I'm gonna get into okay. So basically, I go to add them, and it said I get this error code. Can't connect to server. I'm like, okay, so I'll disconnect from the internet, reconnect from, reconnect it, try and add them again. And I spent like an hour and a half, and I'm getting all pissed off. I'm starting to get sweaty because I'm getting raging. So I just told the boys, they're waiting there like patiently, not pressuring me in terms of when is it going to be ready and whatnot. And I was like, I can't figure it out. So I went online to look for this CE-13 or 113524 code.
Yeah,
couldn't find it. Of course, it's the one that I couldn't find. And so I can't add family members, so they're all disappointed. Yeah, it was the server connection timed out. Anyway,
that sounds like a question. An error on their end, not yours.
Yeah, it wasn't working out for me too well yesterday when it came to it. So sorry, boys. Now you just get to watch me play now.
That is your water heater.
That is my water heater.
So we're about an hour in. Did we want to do on caller or save that for next time?
Next time.
We have other stuff to.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to really prepare.
Prepare your judgment of my.
Oh well, if you have it ready, then
no, it's fine. We can save it because who knows how long it will take.
Okay.
Spoilers to or just well, I guess preview to the listeners is we've had debates about Die Hard being a Christmas movie, but I'm going to go one step further and debate how one family favorite Christmas movie is not actually one. And the debate also ties into another one that people may not think is a Christmas movie and how this one is more of one than said.
Maybe we should do it and just move something else to next week because by the time we record next, it's going to be past Christmas.
But then people might be more open to the argument because Christmas is over.
Okay. That's fair.
Because I think we want to talk about Superman.
Yeah, for sure we do.
Fucking, I went so good for an hour in. I didn't bump the microphone.
Nope.
Now I'm getting animated with my.
Now you're just fucking Mickey in it.
Hey, like
hit him hard, Rocky.
Yeah. All right. So Law and Caller next week. Let's. Where's my slideshow? There it is. Let's get it up there. There we go. Let's get the intro playing. So I don't have all the slides ready to go, but I do have the video if I pick the right one. So watch this, discuss.
Crypto. Home. Take me home.
Superman.
I'm fucking in. I'm in. I am in. The only thing is that I just noticed this now. This is the second time I've seen this trailer. At the very end, when they're in the apartment, there's like green tentacles that are outside when they're in the apartment. And what is that? Anyway, for a teaser trailer, I'm happy. The only thing that kind of gets me going is that they're staying true to fucking over the Green Lantern mythos by like that guy Gardner is the look of it is awful, but It is what it is, right?
94 called and the bowl cut.
Yeah, like it's Lloyd Christmas wants it, like what you said,
Yeah.
right?
Lloyd Christmas is Green Lantern.
That's right.
I think he could have got James Gunn could have got anybody to agree to wear that unless it was a friend of his like Nathan Fillion.
Yeah, that's true. And you know what? I trust James Gunn. I don't really know what the story is about. Maybe I feel as though when he's wheezing, which that wheezing was just such a nice touch. Like the blood was one thing, but for him to wheeze, you're like, man, this guy just got fucked up. And I feel like maybe that was a fight with Ultraman, because apparently Ultraman's in it. Man, everyone's in this movie.
That's right.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good so far. I'm excited. Metamorpho, got a little peek of Metamorpho, Mr. Fantastic, Hawkgirl. Sounds like you're seeing a lot of people from JSA, so it's Justice Society of America, not so much League. So maybe they're like the first iteration of the team.
Mm-hmm.
And so what does that mean? Does that mean that maybe some of them will die and then they form the JLA?
Maybe
with the more stapled characters. I don't know. You?
Oh, it's my turn.
Uh-oh.
Could the John Williams score via electric guitar be any more cheesy? Like I felt like I was at the start of a baseball game in some red state where a guy comes out with his guitar doing the national anthem.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I said this to Michelle too. I don't know if it's because I'm older, wiser, or cynic, but seeing the hero in a movie that launches a franchise beat up at the beginning does not instill, holy shit, what happened to this guy? And he's fine. He's got 4 more movies coming.
Yeah, but you know what? The big thing about Superman,
it's the main guy getting his ass handed to him means nothing to me anymore because we know nothing's going to happen. There's no go back to when the height of the show of The Walking Dead. Everybody was fucking expendable except for Rick. Every week, somebody who was the main player is getting. You're like, what the fuck? Now we're like, these guys cost lots of money. Nothing's gonna happen to them. So just showing that to me is like nothing. It's like
I think they were showing it because that was the biggest knock on, or one of the biggest knocks on the character in any of the movies. Christopher Reeve, Brendan Routh, Henry Cavill, in that there was never really an enemy that was up to the level that Superman was, and the Superman Returns was the worst of all, where it was just they were firing guns at him. And I think the biggest action
are you telling me
in that
the biggest villain threat is a real estate scam? That's not bad. That's terrifying.
It's
you know how much it costs for houses?
100%. Imagine you invested that long ago, what it would be worth today. So I guess maybe
that's the problem with Superman is, again, yeah, he said he's indestructible unless you create the be all end all, but you can't launch with that, which is why I know showing this like, hey, you don't throw some Krypton at him, and he's gonna be weakened and good to go.
There was talk about there being All-Star Superman being an influence in the story, and for those that don't know what that story is about, it was written by Grant Morrison and drawn by Frank Quietly, and Superman's dying because he consumed too much radiation from the sun, and so he was slowly dying. So maybe it's like a version of that where he's absorbed too much, and
no sunblock.
It would be a normal
no SPF 200,
no SPF 60. But maybe he was in a normal fight, but because he took in too much that he was sick. Who knows? Like there could be it could be a dream too. You don't know this,
My other thing, and maybe it's just jaded because of Snyder, but
exactly what it is.
That slow motion shot, I'm just like, oh, Snyder's back.
Which slow motion?
Where he like zooms in and then like,
right, yeah.
Like this looks like what Zack Snyder should be doing. So it's like, oh, so we replaced Superman being feared with Superman being hated through a dog, and it's Zack Snyder's back.
Yeah.
I also find, and I love Nicholas Hoult. I think he's a great actor. He's been great in a lot of things. He just looks small. as Luthor. Like when he's got that gun, I'm like, this is like a piss poor like Hitman knockoff. He just seems.
Yeah, you're making some good points here.
He seems small, but they both seem small. And the other thing, because we're dealing with franchises now, like we're not thinking like a Robert Downey Jr. world. You know, we can cast an older guy and do movies. Like we have to go young, so they just seem like CW, Warner Brothers, TV type youth. Because they want to build around them, so we got to get these younger guys so they can do all these movies. Yeah. Where like fuck, just do one-offs here and there. Again, it's you.
You can't though with Superman. You have to lock in.
We're literally going to be we're living with a studio now that's going to roll with multiple Batmans. Yeah, like my thinking too is like, why can't we continue the story even if we replace the actor? Like when you're reading a run from in a comics, the artists change, the look is different. Why can't we treat the movies the same?
Because not everyone is as cool as comic book readers, Cory.
That's true, and people get invested. But like we've had how many James Bonds through a series of films?
I'm happy that they slowed down that for him to save the girl from the PVC pipe that was hit off the truck.
That's the other thing too. Like, if you think logically, he could have just moved her, but cinematically, we had to have him stop and absorb the hit
of the PVC pipes.
I'm sure if someone went to Neil deGrasse Tyson and showed that clip, he would point out how he would have snapped her neck at the sheer speed that he went in there and put her head down.
Man, he needs to do that. He needs to just create his own segment and do 60-minute clips of like superhero movie trailers and him just like
pointing out the sheer physics of it all.
Strip them down and be like, well, no, she would be dead.
Yeah, she would. Like just the way he's moving at the speed of light. Just, whoops.
Just cracking the neck. You know what? You make a lot of valid points. But your cynicism is not going to sway me just
I'm not trying to sway you. I'm saying from a trailer perspective, these are my notes.
Yeah. So do you think there's another, like, obviously I think there'll be another one February after Super Bowl. So I don't know. And I'm excited. I'll
give you another gripe, but this is not about the movie.
Okay, go.
How much of an ego does James Gunn have now? Do you think? Here's why I asked this.
Okay.
He runs the studio, so he's approving the trailer. He therefore would have had to approve from the director of a James Gunn film. All this shit, like touting his name for his project, for his studio.
But I will rebut that and say he could be taking this opportunity. It's the first property post Snyderverse. There's a lot of bad taste with Snyderverse. He wants to make sure that there is a clear separation between what is coming and what was already here. And maybe he just does it for this first time to say, this is the first property of the Gunverse, if we want to call it that. Make sure that everybody knows this is not Scott Snyder's universe anymore.
Well, before we got the trilogy of Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm pretty sure go back and watch the opening credits for the first one, and it's a James Gunn film. Who was he at that time?
I don't know. Did it really say that?
Yeah, I'm fairly confident.
Okay. We'll get the interns to confirm that, and we'll come back next week and check that out. But I mean, you're right. Who knows? His head could be extremely, inflated July 12th, or it could be popped on July 12th.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Like,
but I'm okay with him.
What are we gonna get? Are we gonna get like Marvel's type numbers now because people are getting tired? Because I don't think we're gonna get you're not gonna get $1 billion out of Superman. That's just not gonna happen. Never has, never will. Especially if he's gonna be, the truth, justice, and the American way type Superman.
Yeah.
So you're not getting Deadpool numbers.
No.
You're not gonna get. I'll say you're not gonna get Craven numbers.
You haven't seen that yet, have you?
I have.
Oh, Okay, I want to go see it. I want to see it because I want to talk about it.
That's next week. But I don't like. It'll be hard to say what's gonna be a home run for these guys.
Can Arlo see Craven? No. Okay.
No.
Okay. Yeah, we will see. We'll see how. It made me think that a couple weeks ago, the boys and I watched Eternals again. It was.
How bored are they?
Well, we just need something new to watch, and we put on Eternals, and I'm not gonna lie and say that if I remove myself from the expectations at that time of what the MCU should have been driving towards, then it's an okay movie.
Yeah.
Because I've removed myself from, what is the next step to the story, and where are you taking it? If you just watch the movie itself, yeah, sure, there are like what Angelina Jolie can't stand her in the movie, but Icarus was kind of cool. Like his powers were kind of cool. Anyway, all that to say, it went from being like an extremely shit movie, in my opinion, to like shit movie. So extremely shit to shit. So it's moved up.
Nice.
It's moved up. It's something I didn't think I would ever watch for a second time, and I did. So,
well, there's a lot of post Endgame that I have not rewatched, which is funny because I've seen a lot of them a lot of times. Yeah. I just can't get myself to go back to them.
Yeah, you should try it.
I barely made it through the first time, so I think I'll make it through the second time. But
I can't believe
there'll be a third.
Even though, sorry, we're all over the map right now because I'm just.
Hey, it is what it is.
Wow. Okay.
I did, yeah.
I gotta see it. Don't say anything. Are there other secret scenes at the end?
No, there's not.
Well,
which makes sense because they're done.
Okay, that's all you'll say.
I think as of today, it's made 43 million worldwide. So yeah, they're done.
Please see my movie. Please see my movie. Give it a chance.
I don't know if you saw this, but apparently Kevin Feige confirmed there will be a third Black Panther movie.
Well, yeah.
Despite Denzel Washington saying that he's in a movie that wasn't being confirmed yet, it's now confirmed. So I guess he will be in the third movie.
Denzel Washington?
Denzel Washington said Ryan Coogler called him up and said there's a part for you in this movie. And he said, okay.
Huh. What is part B? Maybe a younger... why can't I think of his dad's name? King T'Chaka?
T'Chaka, yeah.
Yeah, maybe a younger King T'Chaka. Maybe. Because in the movies, he was like in Civil War, he was quite old, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I just, you know what? I'm not really. Black Panther just doesn't get me excited. It just doesn't. I was talking to someone about the Superman trailer, a buddy of mine at work, and he was like, you saw the Black Panther trailer or teaser trailer, and it was like emotional. For sure it was, because it just happened to unfortunately be around the same time that Chadwick passed away. But I can't get in. Like I'm not overly excited for the movie. Hopefully I'll be surprised.
See, Black Panther for me was when he showed up in Civil War. I'm like, this is cool. Saw the trailer for the second one. I'm like, this look for the first movie. Like, looks pretty cool. Saw it. I'm like, this is a good movie. And then after that, it was kind of didn't care, like you're saying. And then the second one was like, let's see how they're going to do this without him. So it's more out of interest. But like, have I watched it again? I think maybe once.
Yes, yeah.
After I saw it in the theater, I did like that.
And
beat at the end where he had a son and his son's name is T'Challa. I'm like, oh, this is how they can do it.
Yeah, that was a smart way to do it. But to your point, yeah, I mean, the first Civil War was really, really cool. First movie, it was great to see Wakanda. I think, but then because I'm not invested in that character, even through the comics, I'm like, well, what else really is there that like I'm good now? I've seen what I wanted.
Clearly, we're not the demographic for that.
Yeah,
so
That's true too. But
so we can't appreciate the culture that's on display and the representation. Because some people that's huge. Like this is Spider-Man for them, right?
That's true.
For kids.
So yeah, I'm really excited about Superman. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up. That was
very in the middle.
That was a potpourri of movie talk right there. I loved it.
I'm very, very firmly on the fence.
Okay. Well,
I have nothing against Superman. Like to me, Christopher Reeve will never be topped. No matter what you don't care what you do.
No, that's
like just the little things. Like the fucking like people were showing clips again from the first movie when he's like interviewing with Lois, and that scene where he's looking at himself in the mirror and he like lifts the glasses and then his stature goes up and then he puts them back on and he goes back down. Like this is like just perfect.
Yep.
It leads you to believe like there's no way these two guys can be the same. This guy is like this, and then he's just standing so.
And then also like the fro too, like the mop head.
Yeah.
For the guy. Just all over the map.
They seem like small guys for what you're going for, but again, it's a small snippet. Movie could be very well be amazing or just okay. Who knows?
We are divided
firmly. So I am caught up on all Skeleton Crew episodes.
I love it. You go first.
I will give you one critique of it. And I'm having this with anything Star Wars the last little bit and other shows too, not namely within the same genre of the geekiness.
Okay.
Not every show needs a conspiracy or a mysterious plot that needs to be solved throughout. That's the one thing I'm getting really tired of because they had that with the Acolyte. That was canceled. Well, this whole thing, it was like there's 2 girls, like they're twins. One just kind of like gone not to the dark side, but was the one wanted to be a Jedi, one's kind of like a bounty hunter type thing. But there's the conspiracy about how they were conceived, and there's this other thing of conspiracy of the Jedi holding information and lying about the kids and how they got control of the kids and this other shit. Like again, a big to-do conspiracy cover-ups and all that stuff. Plus, then there was also who is this Sith? Because this predates the Sith and all of the Star Wars lore. So this guy, has a red lightsaber. He's doing things that people never heard of because the Siths weren't a thing. They were long since figured to be extinct prior to what we learned in the prequel trilogy and stuff. And then who's this guy that's overseeing everything? Is that Darth Plagueis? Who knows? And then now you have this where clearly based on just hearing that Jude Law was the pirate at the beginning of the show. But now who is this guy? Why is this planet not accessible and no one knows where the fuck it is? Why does no one know where these planets are? Does it need to be that way? I don't think so. But it's still early on. Who's to say? But it's just such a break for something that clearly is geared towards children. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah. So we're 4 episodes in. I don't know how many episodes are going to be, but just a quick synopsis for those that may not know. The story follows 4 kids from a planet called Aden. Now this planet on the surface is a planet that we've never seen before in any Star Wars film or franchise. It's almost like suburban. It's the burbs. And so there's Fern and her friend KB, Wim and his friend Neil. And the 2 pairs are not friends. They know one another, but they're not friends. One thing, they go to school and they're all about growing up to become an analyst. And right away in episode 1, I was like, why are they saying the great work? Something's not right. And something's not right with the fact that you're showing us the burbs, like the suburban, riding their bikes down the street, catching buses, chasing after them, etc. It's very un-Star Wars like. So one thing leads to another, and they're taking off in the ship, and then they start to go, and they're trying to get back home, and no one knows where their planet is, or have never heard of it, and hilarity ensues. So like I said, I was a bit thrown off. It's got that, we talked about this last week, it's got the Goonies vibe. It's really,
Right down
it.
to pirates.
Yeah, and it's pushing it really towards the kids, and I think they're doing a good job that way. But my feeling is that in episode 4, they were on was it at Atchin? Not at
Somewhere,
Adam,
yeah.
at Atchin, and Neil, who's the elephant-like kid, befriended the leader's daughter, Haida, I think, Haida. Anyway, he kept on saying, my planet is peaceful. My planet is peaceful. My planet is peaceful. There's no fighting. Come and live with us, whatever. And he said it so often. And I feel, my guess is that Aden is the one responsible for destroying all the other ones, and they wanted all of the prosperity for themselves. And so they've secluded themselves from the treasure is the power that they have.
Right.
That's my feeling.
I can see that.
And it was only because of Neil going on numerous times about how peaceful it is. It's like you're almost leading us on.
Yeah, he said it. He said it so many times. You're almost waiting for him to look at the camera and go, "Get it?"
Yeah. So right away at that point, I thought to myself, okay, now I can completely get past the burb part, because it's all a facade.
Yeah.
Right. They're what we're seeing, or what we led into the show with, is not really what is happening, potentially. And for that reason, I'm okay with it. I will tell you the one gripe that I have, and it's not specifically about the show, but I noticed it on Mando season 3. I noticed it on this show and Book of Boba. Rian Johnson fucking ruined it for every Star Wars fan after Last Jedi.
Okay.
In the fuel reserves for ships. And now every single time I see a ship jump to light speed, or them go place to place, my first question is, how much fuel do they have left? When before Last Jedi, that was never,
it was just infinite, right?
But the first 4 episodes of this skeleton crew, they're banging and going,
right,
like they're using light speed like it's candy. And all I'm thinking about is, do they have enough fuel? They're going to need to fuel up. Thanks, Rian Johnson.
It's like that one movie where you see a cop, reload their gun. Then you're watching other movies where they just keep firing. You're like, there's only like 24 bullets in that clip, buddy. You don't never reload.
It's upsetting because it was, we had a sense of belief before Last Jedi that you just took it for what it was. The concept of fuel reserves was never a thing.
Right.
The ships looked cool, and they got from one place to the other really fast, and that was it. And now, because of that 1.5 to 2 hour chase between the Star Destroyer and the Rebel ship in a linear movement, it ruined it for every other property going.
Just like we always thought there was the Emperor, or the Empire, and the Rebellion. We never thought there were separatists, people who were playing both sides.
Yeah.
The prequels brought all that in there.
Yeah.
One little bit.
I'm liking it. Like, I don't know. I think Mando really ignited a serious Star Wars kick for me right now, because I can't get enough.
Yeah.
Like I can't. I'm not gonna watch Acolytes, but I might if I run out of things to watch, because I need my fix.
I think if you do. Not to say you're going to be disappointed per se, but I think you might just be
meh.
Not even meh, but just like, I'm trying to think of the right word, not even just say turned off. But I think you're going to be confused as to how you went from here to here so quickly.
Yeah. I need to watch Andor, actually, so maybe that's
yes. If you do watch, okay, what was this? If you are going to check out the Acolyte, I would do it before Andor, because if it does turn you off a bit of it, at least
you got Andor to cleanse.
You can cleanse the palate there, and then you'll be ready to go once season 2 starts in March.
Yeah. What if season 2 or season 3?
3.
3 is now available. So we'll have to talk about that next week. Have you seen it? Have you seen any?
I've seen season 1.
You haven't seen season 2?
No, I wasn't big on the first one.
Okay, well, that's fair.
I've heard season 2 is alright too. So like,
it's all right.
see if all right does not instill confidence to continue.
There's a couple of ones like they're doing a 1602 for this season.
Yeah,
which I'm intrigued. I can't remember the other ones. There's like I think the first episode is like Mecha Avengers fighting the Hulk or some shit like that.
To sell toys.
That's it.
I think actually they had those Mecha toys first.
Actually, there was a comic series, Mech Avengers. That was last year or the year before.
So that for sure was sell toys.
It was actually quite good. It was a 5-issue miniseries. What was it? Mech Avengers Mech, I think it was called. Anyway, I bought them. I bought them before the big cull. I trimmed off like 75% of my pull list. I had to do it.
You have Star Wars representation at my desk. You have your Stormtrooper Lego guy. And R2.
There you go. Is that a Lego?
This guy isn't, no. This is just an actual figure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's really all I got for worthwhile geek news.
That's all I got too.
Perfect.
I'm happy that. So, are you? I guess with Skeleton Crew, just to put a bow on that, are you enjoying it so far?
Yeah, like they're likable. If the kids are likable, I can get into it. It's not like the '90s trope of we have to have a kid in it, but the kid's smart alecky and talks back and give them funny lines to say.
Yeah,
these kids are just being kids, and they're just stuck in an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
After an unfortunate situation, after an unfortunate situation.
Just goes on and on and on.
That's right. I wish they didn't make him a pirate, but he should have been a bounty hunter.
Maybe he is.
No, he's a pirate.
I know.
Who knows how to use the Force?
Yeah. That should be illegal. You should be like, you can't do that. That's another problem too, is that Rian Johnson just basically opened it up like everyone can believe in the Force and then you've got it. No, it's supposed to be like your metachlorians are high. You were predetermined.
Hey, let's not bring we're having a good conversation. We're bringing in metachlorians.
Anyway, fuck Rian Johnson. Ruining Star Wars, or trying to at least.
Are you in the anti-Last Jedi camp?
There's parts of the movie that I really like, and there's parts of the movie that I absolutely cannot stand.
That Rey was nobody, or
that Rey was nobody, that they burnt all of the books and the scriptures of the Jedi, and that Yoda was saying that it was never really a thing, and and at the end of the movie, basically just opening up to the fact that it's what's the word I'm trying to say? Like the Jedis were always like you were born to be a Jedi or you were not born to be a Jedi. And after Rian Johnson had his way, it was basically anyone can be a Jedi if you want. And it takes away the lore of it. And then obviously the fuel reserves.
It's the fuel reserves, then it's fucking
exactly
destiny of being a Jedi.
Exactly. Running on fumes like Cousin Eddie getting over to the Griswolds.
I mean, I haven't read any extended universe stuff, but taking what happened there to the Acolyte too, I don't think it's necessarily related, but it does seem like going to what was in there. It's like we have this essentially religion, and we need to have people in it, so we need to recruit kids into this thing. Doesn't mean that they're predestined to be this. No, we just need people to come into this and to build the Jedi and keep this going. And through that, they are really bad people.
Yeah.
But hey, Not to say that's tying into the Catholic Church at all, but it kind of seems like it is.
It's
It kind of seems like what they're doing. We're taking kids and we're doing bad things with them.
It's a commentary,
younglings.
right?
Yes,
you
exactly.
It's a different kind of lightsaber.
Hey-o.
Oh, yeah. All right. Is it outro time?
Oh Lord, let's put this back up here. Hey, thanks for watching.
There we go. Yes, thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Open Collar. Since we are your favorite geek culture podcast, if you enjoyed the discussion, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button on your podcast aggregator of choice, or if you are watching us on YouTube with or using @OpenCollarPod, you can do that there, or do both. That would be really great. As always, we appreciate your support, and a big shout out to our awesome collar community. Until next time, stay geeky and keep those collars open.
And Polly did
to the slide to his team of a whistle, and away they all flew down like a thistle. But he heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and all good night." Good night. Merry Christmas to you guys. Mom, if you're out there, I miss you. I'm here all alone, home alone. Santa, love you some cookies and milk. You can have it for your furnace. Later, Stony Dudes. Merry Christmas from Louise.